Barry White has been described as the maestro of love, the guru of love, the king of makeout music, and the high priest of boudoir soul. He recites, moans, and croons about love in a deep, mellow voice. For some listeners, this is very seductive. For others, it's camp. White had his biggest hits in the 70s, combining the sounds of soul, funk, and disco. More recently, rappers have sampled his music, and he's made guest appearances on Ally McBeal, where his songs have been the soundtrack of one character's fantasies. I spoke with Barry White in 1999. Let's start with one of his big hits. This is Can't Get Enough of Your Love, Babe.
Can't get enough of your love, babe.
Barry White, welcome to Fresh Air. Let's start with your style of talking and singing. How did you develop that way of talking on your records? Were you more confident about talking than singing?
No, I'm very relaxed either way, singing or talking. I just felt as a creative person that when I did records, I would like to not only sing them, but explain them to a great degree also, so people would know exactly what I'm talking about.
What kind of comments did people used to give you about your speaking voice before you started recording?
Oh, I used to get a lot of different women and men, both. In elevators, there was always, when I would request a floor that I wanted to get off of, everybody on the elevator would turn around. You know, it was always like a big surprise or something. You know, when I'd call long distance and the operator would get on the phone, before she would get me the number I was calling, she had to compliment me on the way my voice sounded. There's a lot of different things like that.
When did your voice get that deep, and what was your reaction when your voice started getting deeper?
Well, my voice changed when I was 14 years old, and I became a neighborhood freak for about a month and a half, and because most boys' voices change at 13, 12, 14 years old, but my voice went from a tenor's voice to a baritone bass. And then a couple of years later, it dropped down to a bass baritone. So my voice just went through the changes it went through, and it's been the way it is today for a long time.
Well, let's hear one of your hits from 1975, and this is Love Serenade. Would you like to introduce it or say anything about writing or recording this?
I enjoyed it. Love Serenade deals with a guy and his girl, and he wants to get very intimate with her, you know, and he wants her to come to him in a certain way, look in a certain way, being a certain way. And Love Serenade takes care of that way.
This is Barry White.
Baby, take it all off. I want you the way you came into the world. I don't want to feel no clothes.
That's Barry White, Love Serenade, recorded in 1975. Now, you say in your new autobiography that women have always told their boyfriends that they can tell just from listening to you that Barry knows how to make love to a woman. I think what listeners really want to know is, when you're actually with a woman, do you talk that way in real life? Would you say
Yes,
the kind of things that you say in Love Serenade?
Well, that's my language. That's my dialogue. That's the way I am. That's nothing made up for records. All I'm doing on records is sharing to you what I think, what I say, what I feel as an artist on a record. I say those things and many other things to my woman, you know. That's nothing new to me or new to whoever I'm with. You know, I am a very communicative person, whether I'm talking about making love, whether I'm talking about everyday life, her life, our life together. I communicate. I believe in that. I strongly believe in it.
Now, do you think that there's been a lot of guys over the years who've tried to use your words to say things like, I don't want to see no panties and take off that brassiere, my dear, and it comes off all wrong and it just kind of
Yeah,
blows up in their face?
yeah. I'm sure there's been some guys that's tried to imitate, emulate my words. I mean, the guys was doing that when I was in junior high school to other artists. And they're what they were singing, and they be trying to sing to the girls and all that, you know. Yeah, they do it. It's all in fun, you know. I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Barry White, did you ever see the film Taxi Driver?
Yeah, what about it?
Harvey Keitel plays a pimp and taxi driver, and one of his prostitutes is a girl about 12 or 13, played by Jodie Foster. And there's a scene in which she's particularly lonely and she's thinking about trying to get away. And then the Harvey Keitel character, Sport, puts on some slow music, takes her in his arms, and talks to her in this really sexy, reassuring way. And this rap was something that Keitel himself came up with. I interviewed him a few years ago. I want to play that scene for you, but first I want you to hear what Harvey Keitel said when I asked him what inspired this rap.
Okay.
I took the idea from a Barry White song.
Oh, that's really interesting, because I always think of that scene when I hear a certain kind of Barry White song.
Yes, right. Well, that's where I got the idea from.
Which particular song was it?
There was no particular song, just his style.
I don't like what I'm doing, Sport.
Oh, baby, I never want you to like what you're doing. If you ever liked what you were doing, you wouldn't be my woman.
You never spend any time with me anymore.
Well, I got to attend to business, baby. You miss your man, don't you?
Barry White, what's your reaction to knowing that you inspired Harvey Keitel to do this scene?
That's a nice compliment, but, that was a scene of a pimp and his lady. I don't speak as a pimp. I'm not a pimp. I don't relate to my woman as a hoe or as a prostitute or any of those forms of things. I deal with my woman as my woman. I respect all women. I don't care who it is. My mother taught me that as a little boy, and I've grown up all my life with that philosophy.
Let's talk a little bit about your childhood, which you talk about in your new book. You grew up in South Central Los Angeles.
Right.
What was the neighborhood like when you were growing up? And this was, in the 40s and 50s?
Yeah, in the 50s and 60s, yeah. It was rough. Things were very hard. But you make the best out of whatever you got and you go on, and that's what we did.
No, you write about how you were arrested at the age of 15 in 1959. What for?
For burglary, for stealing tires.
Did you want to sell them?
Oh, yeah. We had fences all over Los Angeles, and anything we stole, we could get rid of within minutes. So we stole $30,000 worth of dual 90 tires. And my neighbor snitched on me. He saw us putting the tires in my garage, and he called the police. And I went to jail. I ended up going to jail. And if I saw that guy today, I would thank him profusely, believe me.
The judge. You thank the judge in your acknowledgments, in fact.
Oh, yeah. Not only the judge, the guy that snitched on me, I would thank him too,
Why?
It was a great change came over me in jail. So I'd never been locked up. I'd done a lot of crime and a lot of burglaries and a lot of GTAs and fighting and things, but I'd never went to jail for it. But this time, I heard the gates close behind me, those loud-ass gates. And I didn't like it. I didn't like nothing about it. people telling me when to get up, when to go to sleep, what to eat, when to eat. I had robbed myself of my privacy, and a lot of great things came to Barry White in jail, and only in jail could they have come to me
Like what?
the way they did with such impact. Because you have to sometimes, some people you have to really take away valuable things from them before they really understand how valuable what they lost really is. And that's what happened to me.
Barry White recorded in 1999 after the publication of his autobiography. Fresh Air's executive producer is Danny Miller. Today's edition of Soul Music Week was produced by Patty Leswing. Our engineer is Bob Purdick. Dorothy Farabee is our administrative assistant. Roberta Shurock directs the show. I'm Terry Gross.